These are the 3 foods you should absolutely never refrigerate, and the 3 you must always keep cold if you want to protect your legs, ease nighttime cramps, and give your muscles what they really need. Bananas, nature's leg-saving powerhouse. Bananas are known for being rich in potassium, and that's exactly what makes them so important for muscle function, especially in seniors. Potassium helps your muscles contract properly, but when levels dip too low, cramps show up, often in the middle of the night. Now here's the twist. If you're storing bananas in the fridge, you might be losing those muscle-supporting benefits without even knowing it. Bananas are tropical fruits. They don't thrive in cold conditions. When chilled, they're enzymes responsible for ripening and converting starches to digestible sugars stop working. They look ripe, but inside, the texture is tougher, and the nutrients less available. The cold can also degrade vitamin B6 and antioxidants like dopamine, both essential for nervous system function and inflammation control. Plus, if you're on blood pressure meds or diuretics, bananas are a gentle way to replenish lost potassium, but only if they're stored properly. Room temperature is best. If they start to overripen, peel and freeze them for smoothies. Just don't put them in the fridge. You might think you're preserving them, but really you're cutting off their ability to help. Peanut butter, comfort food that doesn't belong in the cold. Peanut butter is one of the easiest, most satisfying snacks out there. It's packed with protein, healthy fats, and vitamin E, which supports brain and muscle cell health. But here's where people make a mistake: putting it in the refrigerator. When you refrigerate peanut butter, the oils separate and harden. Suddenly, that smooth spread becomes stiff and hard to use. For seniors with arthritis or reduced hand strength, it's more than an inconvenience. It's a barrier to eating well. The cold also speeds up oxidation, which reduces the nutritional value of the fats and vitamin E. This is a food that actually thrives at room temperature. Keep it tightly sealed in a pantry, away from direct sunlight and heat. That way it stays smooth, spreadable, and rich in the nutrients your muscles need. Every little bit counts when you're trying to prevent cramps and maintain strength. Onions, a pantry hero that hates the fridge. Onions are in almost everything I cook, from soups to stews to stir-fries. But like bananas and peanut butter, they don't belong in the fridge. When you put whole onions in the cold, their papery skin starts absorbing moisture. That moisture breaks down the outer layers, creating the perfect place for mold and bacteria to grow. For someone older, that's more than just an issue of texture or taste. Seniors are more vulnerable to foodborne pathogens, and something like a spoiled onion can lead to digestive trouble, fatigue, or inflammation. And that inflammation doesn't just affect the gut. It can lead to increased muscle tension and leg cramps. Onions also contain quercetin, a powerful anti-inflammatory antioxidant. But like many plant compounds, it's sensitive to moisture and cold. Improper storage reduces its strength long before the onion starts to look bad. That's why I keep mine in a mesh bag in a dry, dark cabinet, never next to potatoes, and only refrigerate them once they've been cut. Cooked meats and leftovers. Refrigeration is non-negotiable. Let's switch gears. Some foods absolutely must be refrigerated, especially when it comes to keeping muscles strong and avoiding cramps. Cooked meats and leftovers top that list. I love making extra food and storing it for later, but if it's not stored correctly, it becomes dangerous fast. Once cooked, meat can only stay at room temperature for about 2 hours. Any longer, and bacteria like Salmonella and Listeria begin to multiply silently. You can't smell them. You can't see them. And for seniors whose immune systems are naturally weaker, the consequences can be serious: confusion, dehydration, and even hospitalization. Dairy products, cold for a reason. Next on the must-refrigerate list is dairy. Milk, cheese, and yogurt bring calcium, vitamin D, and protein to your plate. 3 nutrients that are key to muscle contraction and bone strength. But the catch? They only work when those nutrients are preserved, and that requires refrigeration. When dairy sits out, bacteria start to grow, proteins degrade, fats go rancid, and the calcium and vitamin D you're relying on to stop your legs from cramping, they lose their punch. I've seen people leave yogurt out while cooking or sip a glass of milk that's been on the counter for hours, not realizing that even small windows of warmth can undo the benefits. Keep your fridge at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Store dairy near the back where it stays coldest. And once opened, use it quickly. If something smells slightly off, it's too far gone. For seniors, spoiled dairy isn't just unpleasant, it can cause bloating and reduce nutrient absorption, which directly impacts cramp prevention. I also make sure to seal my cheese tightly after every use, not just to keep odors out, but to stop it from drying out and losing texture. With softer cheeses like mozzarella or goat cheese, even a short exposure to air can affect flavor and speed up spoilage. And I never leave yogurt tubs sitting on the table during breakfast. I scoop what I need, return the container to the fridge, and keep the probiotics active. Sometimes I label containers with the date I opened them. It sounds small, but it helps me avoid accidentally eating dairy that's lost its strength. I've learned that just because it looks okay doesn't mean it's still full of the good stuff. Over time, I started noticing fewer cramps and more energy after tightening up my dairy storage habits. Dairy isn't just another food group, it's muscle fuel, and when stored right, it delivers the nutrients I count on to stay steady on my feet, recover after walks, and sleep through the night without sudden tightness in my legs. Leafy greens, fragile but fierce when stored right. Last but definitely not least, leafy greens like spinach, kale, and romaine need cold, careful handling to protect their power. These greens are loaded with magnesium, potassium, and vitamin K, three absolute essentials for muscle relaxation, nerve function, and blood flow. Magnesium helps your muscles release after contracting. Without enough, muscles stay tense and cramped. Potassium keeps nerve signals steady, and vitamin K supports circulation. But here's the issue. These nutrients start to fade the moment greens get too warm. Warm, wilted greens aren't just less effective, they can become dangerous. Moist, spoiled leaves are magnets for bacteria like listeria, which hits seniors especially hard. That's why I store my greens in paper towel-lined containers in the crisper drawer and never wash them until I'm ready to eat. Freshness isn't just about flavor, it's about muscle performance and immune protection. I've also noticed that when my greens start to wilt, my energy dips, not just physically, but mentally. That may be because leafy greens support folate levels too, which influence brain function and mood regulation. And when I skip my greens for a few days, those little leg twinges creep back in at night, reminding me why they matter so much. To make them last longer, I rotate them every couple of days and keep them away from fruits like apples and bananas, which release ethylene gas that speeds up spoilage. I've even started buying smaller quantities more often instead of stocking up once a week. That way, I'm not rushing to finish a bag before it spoils. Sometimes I'll blanch and freeze greens if I know I won't use them in time. It's not quite the same as fresh, but it's better than letting all that magnesium and potassium go to waste. And when I eat a salad or sautéed greens, I pair them with a little olive oil or avocado, which helps me absorb the fat-soluble nutrients better, especially vitamin K and beta-carotene. These aren't just nutrition hacks, they're everyday habits that protect my legs, my energy, and my independence. Because when I take care of my greens, they take care of me. When I started paying closer attention to how I stored food, not just what I was eating, it changed everything. The leg cramps I thought were just a part of aging started happening less. My energy improved. Even sleep felt deeper. Why? Because every one of those changes began at the microscopic level, in nutrients that were either preserved or destroyed by how I treated the food I brought home. Bananas, peanut butter, and onions, they need warmth and air to stay effective. Dairy, cooked meat, and leafy greens, they need to stay cold and protected. It's a simple shift, but the results? Huge. Cramp-free nights, stronger legs, and more confidence in the kitchen and in life. If this video helped you rethink the way you store your food, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone you care about, especially if they've been struggling with cramps or fatigue. Leave a comment with your favorite food storage tip or a change you're going to try this week. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another senior health tip. Thanks for watching, and remember, the power to feel better might already be sitting in your fridge or pantry. Let's just make sure it's stored right.